Hello and welcome to An Archer's Tale. Basically, it's been a while, I know, but I've been busy. Been all over the shop. Edinburgh, going to go to Wales in a bit. Literally doing a lot more acting. Trying to finish off this spec script as well for a competition that I hope to tell you about later on. But let's talk about the thing that's on everyone's mind, and that is Harry and Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah discussing all things royal family. It's kind of mad. I read the paper and it literally was like the first 8 pages of the Sun was literally that. Then they had another 8 pages of literally a pullout in the middle about the interview, literally reading the whole interview if you can't go in there and watch it now. It's like I say, I haven't seen the interview yet. I've been busy. Like I say, I've been doing all sorts of stuff. But it just reminds me of mind blown. It kind of reminds me a lot of like the George Floyd stuff. And some people saying certain things about, oh, what did he do before they started attacking him or arresting him and stuff like that. And just kind of makes me think some people just don't know what's going on out here, how things can be just seen as casual racism and just laugh it off. Now, even me, I can be accused of just saying that it's nothing really special. It is racist, but it's not as bad as maybe what I've experienced before. But when you hear people talking about or a so-called family member saying in the royal family, "Oh, how dark will the kid be?" You're like, rah. And obviously, I remember that royal family wouldn't have been a black person anyway. It wouldn't have even probably have come up if it was an all black family. Tell a lie, it probably would have come up if it was like a mixed race baby and it was an all predominantly black family. These things happen. So I don't want to just come out and just lambast the royal family or that member of the royal family because we don't know who it is. And everyone's like kind of speculating as to who it could be, which is kind of really weird because everyone's like, could it be the Queen? Nah, it's Prince Philip. It's definitely Prince Philip. And no one knows really because no one's saying it because they haven't said anything. But this video is mainly just to talk about kind of the Piers Morgan and the ITV Good Morning Britain type of program. So it's going to be a little brief video, but just so you are aware that you got to check this out. So yesterday, Piers Morgan, it's Women's International Day yesterday as well. And I thought it was a bit nasty Piers Morgan was trying to, I don't know what the blonde girl's name is called, but getting her up to literally flash her legs because she was wearing a skirt was kind of crass, to be fair to you. If he wasn't in a trouble for just that alone, that would be probably bad enough. But then he just went on and on about how Meghan and Harry were insensitive to actually have this interview and to destroy the firm. This is the thing, I've never heard the royal family be called the firm. Has anyone else ever been called the firm? It's like a gangster in a Scorsese film. Yo, the royal family's the firm, mate. It's just like the Cray twins or something. Like Ronnie and Reggie are just there, just out there, just doing madness. So it's a kind of a madness that they call it the firm. But anyway, Piers Morgan's there just going mad saying that Meghan Markle's been this, been that. Allegedly, he's been like lambasting her for a while. Then they got the great Dr. Shola on there. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. But then they went at it back and forth. Again, this is all clips on Twitter, probably on Facebook, and you could probably look it up online. But they were going back and forth. And obviously, Dr. Shola, being a black woman, was defending Meghan Markle, saying that, look, you don't understand the racism that she's talking about. So I don't understand how you can be so dismissive and say that it's wrong. The one thing that, I mean, I don't expect him to because he's a white guy, middle-aged white guy, straight guy, so I don't expect him to know it. And if I'm being honest with you, how many people out there thinking that Piers Morgan has a lot of black friends that can actually chat to him and sit him down and say, look, this is what's going on and this is how you need to act? I don't think there's many people doing that with Piers anyway. So she was trying to do that and he was literally kind of shouting at her, trying to talk back down to her and this and that. The one thing that got me is him saying, oh, I don't believe. Again, I haven't seen the full interview. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch the full interview when I got a bit of time. the ITV one, and then allegedly the American one is unedited. So allegedly there's talk of the ITV one being edited down, but the American one is the full one. So what I'm going to try and do is wait a few days, watch the full one, the American one, and then watch the UK one and see if there's any discrepancies, just to, because it interests me now. Before it wasn't interesting, now it's kind of this whole debate about it, so I got to watch it. So anyway, the whole thing about Meghan saying that she felt like she had a few issues with breaking down mentally and feeling suicidal. I think it was something to do with, and again, correct, sorry if I've got this wrong, I haven't seen the full interview, but I think reading on it, she said that Princess Charlotte, when she was getting married to Harry, was getting fitted for some sort of a dress, and Kate made her feel terrible, and then Meghan felt really upset and suicidal. That's what she was saying on the interview with Oprah. Piers Morgan then went and said, I don't really believe her. Now, that's obviously a dangerous thing to say and do, especially in this climate where a lot of people are suffering with mental illness, mental health, suicidal rates are higher than they've ever been, due to various reasons. Pandemic aside, various reasons. So for him to just literally be dismissive, I was like, well, what's going on here? Because if you look at his track record, Piers has never liked Meghan. Ever since she was in the royal family, he's not really been a big fan. Fast forward to today, and the great Alex Brailsford, one of the other presenters on Good Morning Britain on ITV, called him out. Literally said to him, look, you were wrong. He said also, I mean, it was a balanced argument. He said, you were right to say that it's wrong that Meghan not name one of the members of the royal family that said it. But he gave a very balanced, a very well-articulated argument as to the reasons why Piers was wrong to do what he did. And the thing that really, again, watch it online. It's all online. It was fantastically well-articulated. And then Piers Morgan just walked off. Again, don't want to spoil it. Watch it, and then obviously get back to me about what you feel in the comments below. But this is the thing that got me, because I always thought, like Piers Morgan, as I said to you before, I thought Piers Morgan he didn't like her for whatever reason, because he's always, for the past few months, couple of years, I've noticed he's been slamming her. Any dig, any comment, he'd slam her. And then Alex Brailsford comes out and says, well, you were close to her before, and for whatever reason, she distanced herself from you and cut you out of whatever conversational circle that she had, and you've not liked it ever since. Now, I did not know that, so that made me think, well, maybe it's not a race thing, maybe it's not a sexism thing, maybe it's just a case of him feeling like he was slighted by her, and she's moved on to obviously Harry, or she's moved on to other people that can help her out. And he's just feeling some kind of way and just being a bit bitter about it. Maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe it's not a race thing. Maybe it's just a simple thing of him just feeling some kind of way. But I'm glad Alex Brailsford, and again, please watch it, because he was brilliant. And as I say, it's interesting that you go through these things and you see certain headlines of black people. I'm just going to segue before I finish this point. I remember, like I say, 2 years ago or a year ago, not 2 years ago, I think it was 2019, Ryan Sterling is getting lambasted for having a tattoo of a gun, lambasted for where money. I remember years and years before he was even at Man City, he was at Liverpool. There was all sorts of stories saying he has like 5 or 6 different kids for different mums. All of it trash, all of it lies, by the way. Then he then starts speaking up about it, and then he shows 2 headlines. One, both Man City players. One's a black guy who shows that he's paying or buying a house with the money that he's earned, about like 19 years old, 17, 18, 19 years old, for himself and the family. Now, obviously, he can afford to do it because he's got the money to do it because of the contract he's with Man City. Phil Foden, the white guy, is doing the same thing around about the same age. I remember it because I was listening to Talk Sport. People were lambasting this black guy for doing it. Forgive me, I forgot his name. You can probably look it up. For actually buying a house for his family at 19 or 18 or whatever he was. They were lambasting it, saying the game is gone. How can this person or this player be on 40 grand a week and afford it and this and that? This is the reason why. players don't understand things, that they've lost touch, right. Literally slamming this player. They don't know him, but they were just slamming him for just literally one story. And the news headlines was literally about how bad he was for doing so. Phil Ford, white guy. Nothing. Oh, isn't he fantastic? Literally. There was nothing said from TalkSport and Alan Brazil about that. And the headlines was much more encouraging, a lot more upbeat, a lot more light, a lot more like, oh, well done, this is a good thing. And ever since then, I've been looking at these headlines and seeing how they can portray certain black people as this, footballers, and certain other white players as this, in a more positive light. And there is some sort of cultural bias, as you're all probably well aware of. And this gets me on to my final point. I noticed this online, so forgive me, this is not my own point, because I don't buy the Daily Mirror, or the Daily Mail, so I'm not aware of it. I just kind of blanket. I just go for Financial Times and the Sun just for a laugh. But someone showed this me online. The headline in the Daily Mirror said that the interview with Oprah that Harry and Meghan Markle has done is the worst thing to happen to the royal family in 85 years. Think about it. 85 years that the royal family has been knocking about. Queen, all sorts of issues with Prince Charles, Diana dying, Prince Philip maybe sleeping around, Princess Margaret going across to the Caribbean and doing her thing. Worst thing is these two talking about their opinion, and it's their opinion. I'm not sitting here saying that it's fact, but it's their opinion. But the one person who's probably there texting Meghan and Harry saying, thank you for taking the heat off me, Prince Andrew, who is allegedly, and I say allegedly loosely, slept with underage girls, went to the island with Jeffrey Epstein, with his cronies, to do that, and there's photographic evidence, and his interview didn't go so well, I'll tell you that now. Him is less scandalous or less worse than these two chatting away. Again, you got to kind of look at it and think to yourself, where's the context? Who's in? Again, I look at it as who's in the positions of power to make these decisions. And who's in the room, and how, and if you are in the room, if you are a person of color, or you're a woman, or you're a homosexual man, or you're a transgender person, sometimes you just feel so grateful for being in the room. But that's one of the things why Alex Braceford's comment was so fantastic, is that he actually said what he felt was the right thing to say. And for my opinion was, again, well articulated, please watch it, about once you're in that institution, and you got to understand, Meghan Markle is the only person in there of colour, or any sort of colour, seeing this from the outside and saying, this is wrong. And one of the things that I like, and I've always liked this about Harry, I've always felt like Harry's the guy that nobody feels like they want, but he's gone through so much trauma with his mum dying, but he knows full well that he's not going to be king. Like, no one cares about him. Growing up, he's always had that chip on his shoulder. Look at the past. He's always said it. And then he sees his girl that he loves, and you can't deny it. This man loves the woman. And he sees what's happening, and maybe he was blind to it. Maybe he is just being brought up in the royal family, and he was like, you know what, this is just life, innit? This is how we're meant to go about things. This is how we've always done things, and this is how we got to continue. But he sees the woman he loves in the early days of getting married, of this marriage. They're about to have a kid together, because obviously he knew months before they got married they were going to have a baby. Months before. Baby actually came out a few months after they got married, so there's no way he didn't know he got pregnant. So he's seeing this, and he's like, you know what, actually, to look after you, because you obviously are not you're not mentally, you're getting worse and worse, I'm going to take you away from it. So I think there's a lot of kudos to Harry. A lot of kudos to Meghan's mum, because no, she hasn't said a word. Her sister, her half-sister, that pagan, her dad, another one is a pagan, all chatting rubbish, whether it's rightly or wrong. And I'm not sitting here saying Meghan's an angel. I'm not even sitting here saying that Harry is an angel and that they're all this downtrodden on couple. There's probably blame on both sides. So that's why I'm trying to make it as balanced as possible. But I tell you what is that what I'm seeing, in my honest opinion, is tabloids just continuing on, just barraging people, barraging these two, even though they're just trying to live their life away from it and trying to settle it down. Now, like I say, all the aides in the royal family are saying a lot. Okay, maybe Prince Charles is not saying a lot, maybe Camilla's not saying a lot, maybe the Queen's not saying a lot, but they've got people speaking on behalf of them. I've seen, like I say, 8 pages in the Sun of people talking about them. If it's not from the directly royal family, it's the royal biographer, it's the former royal biographer, it's a photographer, it's Meghan's dad, it's Meghan's half sister. It's literally wall to wall of people bashing them. 8 pages, and I read it. So I'm there thinking, you've got so many people there talking a lot of recklessness. Who knows if it's the truth? Maybe it is the truth. And then you've just got these 2 people here just saying, look, this is our version of what's happened, and this is how we feel. And like I say, rightly or wrongly, I respect both of them for coming out and actually saying it. And hopefully, I think 2 things are going to happen. One, Piers Morgan, you might not be seeing him for a while on ITV. Good Morning Britain, I tell you that now. I think he might be gone for a while, if not suspended indefinitely. Like I say, my words, in a few days' time, I think he might be gone. And secondly, I don't think most of us are never going to look at the royal family the same way again. If you ask me, and this is my final point, my mom and a lot of the people that I speak to of a certain generation, to this day, still feel that the Queen murdered Princess Diana. Whether you feel it's the case or not, and I always argue, nah, I don't think it happened. But there's a lot of people that do feel that way. With this on top, with all the revelations that Harry and Meghan are saying, people are never going to look at the Queen or the monarchy the same way again. There'll obviously be diehard people that always say it's an institution, it's fantastic, and Meghan and Harry are wrong. But the longer that these 2 stay together, if they get divorced in 2-3 years, it'll be like, yeah, well, everyone knew that it wasn't going to last. Everyone knew Meghan was the bad girl. But I tell you what, if it lasts like 10, 20, 30, or 40 years, and they have like 4 or 5 kids together, and they sail off into the sunset, people will be looking at the royal family and be like, actually, maybe the problem isn't these 2 people. Maybe the problem is the greater institution at large. And that might be at risk in future generations. Again, that might be the 2 things. And that's my tale, my Archer's tale for today. There'll be more. So I'm going to be busy over the course of this week. There's a lot of COVID tests that I'm doing for a Hush Hush Wales shooting project TV show. So I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling for that. But I'll try and do a couple a week. I've got some writing to do, and like I say, it's getting busier. And like I say, if there's any comments, please obviously leave them. If there's anything you want me to discuss or look at in more detail, we can do. Obviously, please subscribe to follow me either on Instagram or on the social medias or on YouTube. Over time, I know it's a bit kind of weird at the moment, it's just me. Over time, we will get certain people from the industry. So we'll get actors, we'll get writers, we'll get producers, and we'll just get normal everyday people talking about their experiences, probably comment on today's news. And like I say, we'll just take it easy, see how it goes, get through this pandemic together. And on that note, take care of yourselves. Please, please, please. Just look after yourselves, look after your mental health, look after each other. I do believe we're coming to the end of this kind of larger lockdown, nationwide lockdown. We will probably have some sort of local lockdowns throughout the year, but stay healthy, stay calm. We'll get through it. I'm not going to say to you to wear your masks or do your vaccines. You get enough of that. Just take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll be back later on in the week for other Archer's Tales and throughout the year. Bye-bye. Peace out.